What's up, guys? It's XeqtR from the Tennos. Today I'm going to show you how to do 230 waves on a Grineer defense. So let's get started. Now, doing this kind of run is actually not that difficult. You just need to know the correct placement and the frames. So let's start off with talking about Frost, obviously. My first POV for you. Frost, a lot of people have different opinions about Frost, especially after it was nerfed. And so I can tell you that after running this long with it, it's still very viable. You just have to make sure that you keep using your globe every 3 seconds. Because of that short immunity, that's really the only way to play it. You can't play it for strength because you don't know what could be shooting at the globe that would break it. So definitely every 3 seconds. I know it's very tedious and it's time consuming and you have to constantly focus on it, but it's probably the only way I can think of that you would absolutely make sure that Frost would be able to be successful for this long. Now the next 2 frames are probably the most important to this composition. As you can see from this point of view of the Frost, there's nothing else in my globe at the moment. So a lot of you are probably wondering, where is everybody else? Obviously I'm not soloing this mission. So what we're doing is we're running 2 Link Blessing Trinities. So I know that a lot of you know what that entails. If any of you have seen our Tower 3 survival video that I just put out last week, then you'll already know that that's basically what we're doing here. So the reason they're outside the globe obviously is so they get hit. And they're also using Stugs, which if for those of you who don't know, Stug shooting on the ground with Link, it takes that damage and then it puts it through your Link because obviously you're hurting yourself with it. So that actually, to begin with, is a very quick method to get through a lot of waves. And so what the Link Trinities are doing is they're standing on each side, and I'll put a diagram up here. It's a hand-drawn diagram, but it's very cartoony, but it gets the point across. So as you can see, the 2 green dots on each side is where the 2 Link Trinities stand. And so basically when the enemies come in from those 2 points, they will always be attracted to those the Trinities. And so all the damage that would be going out, they're not going to run by them. Sometimes they do run by them, and that's a case where we have to react. And how we do that is we just basically, I would use my #1 freeze, or a Trinity would Well of Life it. The other thing that's really good about Link Trinity is that it's so good at high levels. So those of you who haven't seen our Tower 3 survival, or perhaps you still don't understand why it's so good, aside from the Stug strategy where in early waves and in lower level stuff it's a very quick method to get through waves, once you get high enough, the Stug will scale out and that damage isn't going to mean anything going through your Link or not. It is good, but it's not a quick way to kill them once they get a lot of HP. So what we found out is that once they get to a certain level, their damage starts killing themselves. So as you can see here in Burry's point of view, is these enemies are coming in, they're shooting at him, and they're taking tons of damage and dying when he's not even firing a single shot at them. So that's really what's happening here, is both Trinities on each side, because they're basically mirrored here. I only have one POV, but the other side is the identical gameplay. So it's basically, they sit there, the enemies come in, it doesn't, even one could be shooting them, and it transfers that through the Link. So they'll all pretty much die really quickly, and that's another question that we had from people, at least on the forums, was how did we run it so quickly? And it's really just Link Trinity. It's so fast because the Link range is so long that they can just stand on these sides, and as they spawn in, they get killed by it. And the other thing is that we didn't bring a Nova or anything to slow them down. We wanted them to go as fast as possible. So that's probably why it only took us about like 3.5 hours, where if you look at our other video of the 205 wave Corpus, which is only 25 waves less than this, that took us around almost 6 hours. So we significantly cut our time down by doing this. And one last thing before I move on to the 4th frame, and probably the most important factor, is you need to each have corrosive projection on. Alright, so the last frame, the mystery frame that everybody wants to know, is another Trinity. So a lot of you are probably wondering, wait, you're running 3 Trinities in a Frost? Yes, we are. The 4th Trinity is actually built for Energy Vampire. And I want to say this with great emphasis. The 4th frame can be whatever you want. And I mean it. We did a lot of test runs of this kind of thing over the last couple weeks, and we pretty much ran with anything as the 4th frame. The only reason that we have an Energy Vampire Trinity is because in all the past runs we had been relying on energy plates, because you build 200 of the mediums and 200 of the regulars gives you 400 total plates that you can bring. Each person brings plates, so it's 1600 plates, which is obviously good enough for a long run. When we were doing this Grineer here, and I'll show you when it gets towards the end of the video what happened, we were planning on going to upwards of 564 waves. And the reason for that odd number is that we wanted to get to mob level 10,000, or also known as level cap. So we were prepared for that. The problem is, running 560 waves, we weren't sure if those plates would be enough. So we brought the Energy Vampire Trinity to feed us energy so we wouldn't have to use plates. So really though, I would almost suggest, if you're running something less waves than this, I would suggest using a Rhino maybe. Like I said, sometimes the enemies do kind of get past those Trinities and run towards the globe, and it could be a very panicked moment. And so I would suggest running like a Rhino to stomp when that happens. You could run I wouldn't say a Loki, because it's very important that the Link Trinities get shot, so anything that would disarm them is definitely not good. Alright, so the final point where we ended the mission, a lot of you might be thinking, did we fail because we were actually supposed to go for level cap, we were supposed to go for 564 waves? On wave 231, and I'll show you in the video here, I'll put in the sound so you can hear our reactions as well. Basically what happened is on wave 231, the host crashed, which was me. And I was the Frost, so in hindsight that probably wasn't the best idea. But what we noticed is, I was reading a thread earlier that day where a Russian clan was posting that they were running an ODD, I don't know how long ago, they had screenshots of it, I'm sure it was weeks past, but they had also crashed on exactly 231 waves. And it was the same situation where it was just the host. And, you know, I believe in coincidences, but I feel like, considering that not many people do this many waves, I mean, there's probably a good chance that that Russian clan and us are the only people who have done 231 waves. I have a strong feeling that this is something in the game that is crashing hosts at wave 231. And the only way to find that out, guys, is for us to do it again. So we're going to do it again. We're going to find out if it's actually the game. I've already submitted my EE logs to DE and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to leave you with the footage from when we lost. And thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions, please leave those below, because we need new video ideas. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Oh, you got a guy
Oh
underneath?
no. Oh no, he died. Where's the... No, he died.
Do you see a Scorch?
No.
Blessberry.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Barry. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I get every 2 seconds. I get a lag of 2 seconds, and then after that's over, I'm fine for 2 seconds. then
I'm
it's
blessing
still loop.
first, Shadow. Blessing
I said
down.
I'm blessing first. I
Oh,
said
shit.
it.
Did you bless? Did you
Yes.
bless? I'm at 23 seconds.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you have to cover, Cappy.
Okay,
Tell
I'll
me
let,
when you're
I'll let
down
you
to
bless.
8, and I will bless through until whoever resets.
Furry, you'll bless first.
We're at 8.
Okay, I'm gonna go through spamming.
Alright. Blessings out.
Hey.
Oh, my game just crashed.
No.
Oh no, I see them shooting at nothing.
Uh-oh.
I rushed to the pod to cover it.
This is so
Well,
fucking
wait.
gay.
What did they get? What was the one for them?
Wasn't it 235 or something? Or
231. The guy said he
Oh.
crashed at 231.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe
was
it
that
crashes at
231 as well
231.
for us?
Yeah.
that means it's a 3-man to 230. What is it?
So it's a
North?
bug.
Yep.
I need to see
Ooh.
if I can join you guys. Oh, wait, did you guys lose already?
Yes, I got one shot.
Still.
Of course we lost. There was a heavy gunner shooting at it when he crashed.